the people of this nation look for guidance and reassurance on this global pandemic, it's normal to seek out answers from everyone that we encounter. Friends and family offer advice, reporters keep us informed, and everyday citizens are collecting donations for greatly needed personal protective equipment, or PPE. Well, your social studies teachers at Oak Lawn have also been reaching out to those that could offer some suggestions on how to get through the stay-at-home orders. Your favorite teachers have reached out to their favorite American presidents for our own greatly needed PPE. That's past presidential education to you. Here are some of the Q&A that transpired.
Good morning, President Kennedy. You were inspirational in your presidency and started our space program, which ultimately led to the moon landing on July 20th, 1969. Any words of advice to our Oak Lawn seniors on projects that they can help on around the house during this pandemic?
Yes, Oak Lawn, these have been very difficult times. But we do these things to fight the virus, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Something that, in fact, will probably be pretty hard to open up will be Fenway Park, where my Red Sox play. Or the Boston Garden, where the Celtics play. Those will be hard to open up. But in terms of projects around your house, I want you to be thinking about your parents. They have lots of things to do. If they ask you to watch your brothers and sisters while they take a trip to the market, watch your brothers and sisters while they take a trip to the market. If they ask you to help bake some clam chowder for the family at night, bake the clam chowder. So keep in mind, ask not what your parents can do for you, but what you can do for your parents. Good luck, Oak Lawn.
Hey, how are you, Teddy? President Roosevelt, you've always been known as an active and vigorous guy, given your affinity for boxing, the great outdoors, and I know you're quite the author, too. What types of activities do you suggest for our Oak Lawn students during this pandemic?
Oh, hi. Hi. Yeah, I've been doing some boxing here. Also been working on my book over here. Yeah, I've been clacking away here. Let's do 21st century stuff. Computers, good stuff. I can go out there and write my book. I'm working on it called Dead Presidents in Heaven. Yeah, and I heard that the governor just opened up some of those state parks and recreational facilities. I'm glad of that, because you know what, if he wouldn't have, you know what I'd have done? I'd have gotten on my bully pulpit here and I'd have stared him down. I'd have stared him down just like this.
Good morning, President Adams. Our nation is suffering right now. Do you think the government has been doing enough, or has it failed the American people?
What? Are you accusing me of not doing my job? Are you saying bad things about me, the president? You can't do that. I gotta get you prosecuted and charged under the Sedition Act. Oh, God. Where's my Secretary of War?
Good morning, President Bush. You and your wife Barbara raised 6 children. What advice would you offer to Oak Lawn Community High School families who are struggling through this pandemic?
Oh yes, Oak Lawn, these are tough times for families. Barbara and I raised 6 of our own. George, Jeb, Marvin, Neil, Pauline, and Dorothy. Great kids. Always listened. We want this virus to be uber, which means over in English. We want virus to be gone, so we could have a kinder, gentler America. An America where there's 1,000 points of light. Sometimes, though, I know with my kids, I had to draw a line in the sand. And one of the places I drew those lines was when we ate dinner. I always told my children, eat your broccoli. Now, I didn't like broccoli, but I made sure that they ate the broccoli because I knew it was good for them. So eat your broccoli.
Hey, President Bush. Mr. Reef here. You were president when most of our seniors were born, and you were the second president of my lifetime. So we're wondering what advice you have for seniors who are going through their senior year during this quarantine event. Thank you very much.
Oh, hey, how you doing? So, these are some of the babies when I was president back in the early 2000s. Wow, you sure have grown up. Well, this quarantine's tough, but I gotta tell you, gotta have a good strategy to deal with it. And a good strategy is having some good tactics. Good tactics include having a good book, like this one right here. Yeah. Another thing you want to do is you want to have, at your end of quarantine party, you want to have a big sign that says mission accomplished right at the end, just like I did at the time when I thought it was the end of the Gulf War. That's right. Now, something else, don't tell my daddy. Jeb, my brother, we didn't eat that broccoli. He thinks we did. We just stuck it under the couch. Have a good day, Oaklawn. Congratulations. I'll get back to my book.
Hello, President Clinton. During your long political career, you and your wife often worked together as a team on many issues. I'd like to know what your wife, Hillary, thinks is the best way for our seniors to get through this global crisis.
Hey there, Mrs. Kuchyt. Yeah, this is tough times, no doubt about it. It must be tough for you to not be in your classroom. Must be tough on your kids, too, because you're such a great teacher. I tell you, I feel all of your pain. I really do. I feel your pain. I do. Yeah, but we'll get through this. Anyway, you asked about Hillary, and she's doing great. You know, she's such a smart and wonderful woman. She cares about people so much. You know, she grew up here in the Chicagoland area. She grew up in Park Ridge, a northwestern suburb of Chicago. And, you know, I met her parents here and all that. We went to a place called Romano's, a great pizza place out there. No longer there from what I've heard, but, you know, you do have some really good pizza down there in the southwest suburbs, including two really good ones, Palermo's and Phil's Pizza. Great pizza. So you know what I would do with your time while you're sitting there in quarantine? I'd get some curbside delivery, or I'd just have regular delivery to your house, or whatever that contactless thing is now, this new thing in quarantine. I'd get some of that. Make sure you have some fun. The 1990s, when I was president, they were fun times. So do what you can to have some fun. Anyway, good luck, Oaklawn. Take care.
Hello, President Ronald Reagan. You are remembered for bringing an end to the Cold War and surviving an assassination attempt. What advice can you give to OLCHS seniors about staying strong during this global pandemic?
Well, I will say this, Oaklawn. Back in 1988, when I was president, I stood at the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin, and I demanded of Secretary Gorbachev to tear down this wall. And we were referring to the Berlin Wall, of course, which was keeping all of the people of East Germany away from freedom. And, well, Mr. Gorbachev didn't listen to me. He didn't do anything about it. But the people of East Germany, later on, a couple of years later, decided to tear down the wall themselves. So they took their fate into their own hands. You see, I do not believe in a fate that will fall upon us, no matter what we do. I do believe in a fate that will fall upon us if we do nothing. So when dealing with this horrible virus, we have to do the things that are necessary to defeat it. So with all the creative energy at our command, let us begin a new age of national renewal and defeat this virus. Let's tear down this wall.
Hello, President Coolidge. You were always a man of few words, and you were also president during some pretty good economic times in the 1920s. Any words of advice you might have for our Oaklawn seniors as they graduate and potentially enter the workforce?
laissez-faire.
President Taft, you were always a decisive kind of president. What would you have done to deal with this pandemic?
Oh, that's a tough question, let me tell you. Oh, I mean, it was in China, and, if we stopped all air traffic from China and everywhere else, and just, close up the borders, we'd hurt the economy. Stock market would drop. Oh, but if we don't, then people get sick. And now, if we keep the economy shut down, we have a depression. And if we open it back up, more people will probably get sick. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. This is why I didn't really want to be president. This is why the guy who was before me, TR, I just kind of looked up to him like this. That's why I just wanted to be Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, which I eventually became, thanks to Warren Harding. I didn't want to be president. I didn't. I couldn't make tough decisions like this. Ask somebody else.
President Roosevelt, thank you for taking my question. You were president in one of the worst times in American history, the Great Depression. Americans were scared, nervous, anxious, and you calmed their fears by having fireside chats where you would talk to them about the solution and what's going to get done, and you made Americans feel better. Today, Oak Lawn community students, especially seniors, are going through some anxious times because of the virus. What advice do you give them to get us through this? Thank you, Mr. President.
Good evening, Oak Lawn, and my fellow Americans. Welcome to my fireside chat. I'd like to take a few moments of your time to talk about some of the common sense approaches that we can take to alleviate the current situation. Now, first, I must say that this great nation has endured, and this great nation will endure. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Well, in my day, during the Depression of the 1930s, I created, along with the Congress, many alphabet soup agencies, like the AAA and the CCC and the SEC. Today, I think, one way for you to alleviate the situation is to eat some Campbell's soup. Alphabet soup, preferably. Stock symbol CPB, if you must know. They're doing very well in the market now, given the fact that everybody's buying a lot of soup. Another good thing would be to buy a game which was created during the 1930s. All about those malefactors of great wealth. That game is called Monopoly. Oh yes, fun times. I've never lost. Come and ask me sometime for how to always win. I'll tell you. Well, my fellow Americans, it has been great chatting with you this evening. Please, remember, we are Americans. This is a great country. We will get through this.
I know that this is not how you imagined your senior year coming to an end. We all wanted more for you as well. You are missing your friends, your activities, and sports, and maybe even your classes and your teachers. It's hard now, but when this is over, you'll be able to look back on this time and say that you were the graduating class of 2020. You were the children born into a grieving world over the events of 9/11, and you are graduating as the world goes through a global pandemic. You are all stronger than you know, and we can't wait to see the amazing things that you all do with your lives. From all of your social studies teachers, we wish you the best of luck. going, by the way. It was a Senator Moral Jersey, my favorite senator, Republican from Vermont. Take care.